Good afternoon and welcome to the first campus conversation of this semester, fall 2023. We'll be discussing some updates, exciting new projects that involve IUC and in particular the campus. I'm Caterina Bello and I'm going to introduce our panelists, and after the discussion there's time for questions from the audience here and from the online audience. And so next to me is Provost Ihab Abdurrahman, and then we have President Ahmed Dalal, and then University Architect and Professor Khaled Tarabi. Welcome everyone. So we'll start with President Ahmed Dalal. Please, can you give us some updates?
Thank you, Dr. Bello. It's good to welcome you all for our first meeting this year. I know we have a number of topics to discuss in today's conversation, and I want to focus on these topics. At the same time, it is difficult to ignore the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding before us. It's really deeply saddening, to me at least, and I'm sure to all of us, to see the loss of innocent lives. It is heart-wrenching to witness the violence unfolding before our eyes in Gaza. I hope we can engage in an open and frank discussion of a situation that has deep historical roots in the decades-long plight of the Palestinians and is now evolving in an unpredictable manner. If this sort of discussion takes place, the university environment is the place to have it. So I hope in the days to come, we'll have opportunities, you will have opportunities to discuss these issues openly and frankly. For now, I pray for the de-escalation of the spiraling violence and for a just and peaceful resolution of the conflict. This is not the time to discuss this issue. I want to go back to the topic of our conversation today, which is what we announced and which is why you're here. But I thought we needed to just make a statement, a very simple and straightforward statement about this tragic situation. As I outlined in my message to you last week, we have several exciting new initiatives that will be a major focus this year, along, of course, with everything else happening across all of our schools and units. One of the most important highlights of the year, and we've talked about that in previous years, but one of the most important highlights of the year is that we are finally moving ahead with the early stages of 3 campus development projects. We've been discussing the ideas around some of these projects for many years, in some cases as far back as the move to New Cairo. Each of the projects we are pursuing is anchored in one of the key pillars of the strategic priorities roadmap, which we've discussed at length last year, that we developed in 2021. The new student housing will increase our on-campus capacity by about 60% and allow us to attract students from across Egypt and international students. The Extended Education Hub, which will coincide with the 100th anniversary of the School of Continuing Education, will accelerate our long-standing contributions to capacity building and upskilling the Egyptian workforce. And the third project, Bridges, the Trilab, Bridges Academia and Industry, providing our students with real-world problem-solving experience and an innovation ecosystem unlike any other in Egypt. I'll leave it to our university architect, Dr. Khaled Tarabi, to give an overview of the projects and plans for the year. It is very important that we hear from you as a community and engage in conversations around our collective aspirations for each of these projects. We formed 3 program committees on the operationalization of the 3 new projects. And beyond today's quick overview, we are dedicating 3 campus conversations on November 5, 8, and 9 to engage in more in-depth discussion of each project. And I really encourage you all to attend and share your thoughts. A second extremely important highlight is a new collaboration in Dubai and a potential collaboration in Saudi Arabia. As a first step in this type of collaboration, we will deliver an executive diploma in sustainability for 4 cohorts of 200 Emirati public servants as the United Arab Emirates prepares to host COP28 later this fall. I received several questions and can sense the excitement and interest in this collaboration. It represents a clear recognition of our expertise and academic excellence. We're projecting the academic strength of the university at a regional level, and this is extremely important, not just in Egypt, but at a regional level. We hope to build a stronger collaboration in many other areas as well, and this is an ongoing conversation that we're having in both locations and elsewhere. A third topic, an important topic that we've started thinking of and hopefully we'll be able to deliver this year, has to do with sustainability and the fight against climate change. These are key areas of emphasis for AUC, as you know, in which we have tremendous capacity amongst our faculty and clear recognition in the region and beyond. So alongside our academic and professional programs, we are also doing everything we can to model a sustainable campus operation. To push to reduce single-use plastics on campus this year is the push to reduce single-use plastics on campus this year is one of the many ways we can all do our part in combating climate change. It's not easy. Single campus, single plastic use, this is single plastic. We use it and we throw it away. And so we really want to try to eliminate or significantly reduce single plastic use on campus. It would be a great step. We're working on plans to do that. It will take us some time. It's not as easy as it sounds. But it's something we're committing to do, and if we do that, we'll add that to the whole range of initiatives that we've taken on campus. There are also discussions, I'm having discussions with the Provost on forming task forces to move our initiatives to think about the programs of the future. We've talked about that, it's part of our strategic initiatives, and we need to accelerate the work on this front. Examples of such very tangible examples. Of course, this is sort of work that we have to do with all of our programs, given the rapid changes in higher education. But specific tangible examples have to do with building a Middle Eastern Studies graduate program, urban studies, and smart cities, and the future of energy. These are all big ticket items that we should be working on, and I'm already in conversation with the Provost. We've already operationalized the first, and we're thinking of ways to operationalize the events, the initiatives on the other fronts and others. And possibly there's been discussion of the quality of education at AUC. I truly think that AUC is stronger than it has ever been in its history. That said, we should never be complacent. If people have questions and concerns, I know that the Provost has already commissioned the committee to look at the quality of education at AUC, to assess it in very tangible terms. If there are things that we need to do, we will do them. And if there are misconceptions, we'll address them. So these are some of the key issues that we'll be working on this year. And now I pass it back to you.
Thank you very much, President Talal. So we'd like to ask Provost Abdurrahman, could you please provide us with some updates?
Thank you, Dr. Bello. I'm pleased to welcome everyone to our first campus conversation for this academic year. A special welcome to our new faculty and students joining this event for the first time. As President Dalal mentioned, Dr. Khalid Tarabia will be giving more details about our exciting campus expansion projects. I just would like to emphasize the importance of all of us engaging with these projects to ensure that we connect each project design with the needs of the campus. We have formed programming committees to solicit ideas and input from all stakeholders, including faculty, students, staff, and alumni. Dean of Students, Jürgen Marcel, is chairing the programming committee for the student housing project. Dean Mahmoud Allam, Dean of the School of Continuing Education, chairs the programming committee for the Executive Education Hub. and coordinating that all as well with other deans who have executive education in their schools. The Tri-Lab Programming Committee is co-chaired by SSA Dean Lutfi Gafar and Associate Professor Dr. Ayman Ismail, the founding of our VLab. I'm also proud to share with you that this semester we're welcoming for the first time in at least a couple of decades, the first cohort of excellent scholarship recipients. Over 160 this year of the brightest and the best in Egypt from across all Egypt and internationally have been recognized for their achievements in many areas, including academic achievement, top performance in Thanawiyya Amma, leadership, athletics, and arts. And is clearly evidenced by this first cohort that the excellence scholarships allows us to attract an extremely talented pool of new students from diverse backgrounds. We welcome them all to EUC, and I'm sure that they will find the right support from every member in our community. This year, we are hard at work at many initiatives to support our students, and will mention only a few of those. We're working on automated processes and introduction of e-forms for many student requests through the Office of Registrar. As you have seen during the the celebration of the Mental Health Day, we continue to put strong emphasis on the importance of our student mental well-being, especially at this hard time that the whole region is witnessing. Our Center of Student Wellbeing runs a full schedule of activities to support of the mental health of all students. Our peer tutoring initiative support from fellow students to other fellow students. The list of supported courses is growing rapidly, and the students who are willing to join to this initiative is growing, and really we have been successful in offering to our students tutoring by their colleagues. Providing an education of unparalleled quality remains our top priority. As the President mentioned a minute ago, I asked the old committee that was established in 2017 and 2018 to look at the quality of education at EUC, to start actually preparing that work again. So they will look at the old study, and they will look at our definition once more of quality of education, and will update the old study, and they may add more. Dr. Huda Mustafa, she's among us today, is chairing that committee. Dr. Aziz Al-Lozi remains as an advisor to the committee because she was chairing the old committee. As part of our quality of education initiative, we now have 14 active learning classrooms on campus where the state-of-the-art technologies and furniture is actually provided in those classrooms. And I want you to understand that using those classrooms is not an easy task. It needs training, so our faculty are working really hard on being trained in the CLT to use those classrooms, because actually you have to convert your class to suit the usage of those classrooms. So if you did not visit them yet, please visit those classrooms. And I'm sure faculty will allow you to attend a class or two with them if you are interested to see how do we use those classrooms. More importantly, I'm pleased to share that this year we're introducing the EUC Honor Code, something that we have been working on it last year. The Honor Code encompassing our existing policies of academic integrity, student conduct, and anti-harassment and non-discrimination. The Honor Code reinforces our commitment to tolerance, respect, and academic integrity. It has already been introduced to our new students and faculty, and over the remainder of this semester, it will be introduced and communicated to the rest of our students, faculty, and staff. Having a code that we all pledge to uphold will help us to become a stronger community of shared responsibility and accountability, and encourage each of us to be and do our best at all times. Finally, as you are aware, civic engagement and contributing to Egypt's development is one of our strategic priorities. Last year, we launched AUC Road to College, an online self-paced English language program aimed at helping high school students across the nation to develop their English skills. To date, we have almost 280 applicants, students registered on that 280,000 students registered on that system. I asked my colleague Iman Mujahid to increase the quota, the online quota, to actually allow 1 million students to register on that platform. The 280 is the limitation of the system. I think we can. I received a message last night of someone said that he cannot register because the system is not active. I think this is because of the quota. So we will work on having 1 million, right, Iman? 1 million. So those 280,000 represent almost 27 governorates in Egypt and 92 countries. Another civic engagement project that I'm very excited about is the Partnership for Educational Progress. This is the latest USAID that we have received from the USAID. We're launching that project this semester. It's funded by USAID, as I mentioned, and it's mainly to help and support and strengthen the higher education system in Egypt. Dr. Muhammad Hamza will be our chief of party for this project. With that, thank you very much for coming today, and I'm looking forward to answer your questions. Dr. Bello.
Thank you very much, Provost Abdurrahman. And now we'll have some updates from University Acted, Khaled Tarabih, on new projects on campus. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Katrina. Thank you, President Dalal, Provost Abdurrahman, everyone. I have some notes here to stay on time. Okay, so let me start here with the timeline first on the, if we can bring the timeline up. Yep. So on the webpage, there's a timeline that shows the full timeline starting from the purchase, of course, from our move into New Cairo, all the way up to starting of the community consultation on the campus plan that took place starting 2020. 2024 marks our start. We have actually spent the balance of the last 2 years, 2022 and 2023, working on resolving the land issues and retaining our project management firm, Hill International, along with spent 2023, bulk of it in planning and design tasks that will get us to 2024, first shovel in the ground around June 2024, inshallah. 2026 is our substantial completion, and we have a deadline date on this, August 2026, that will take us on forward afterwards for occupancy in the following month. So last year we worked on the master plan and these projects and the location of the projects. If we can get the next map, next slide. Okay, so we're all familiar with the existing part of the campus and the undeveloped part of the campus. So our 3 projects are spread along Street 90. The first project is the next generation living and learning facilities, which are the 2 kind of O-shaped buildings to your left side on Street 90 and on the northern part of the campus. Right next to it, the Technology Research and Innovation Lab, mix between experimental design and construction, along with technology and venture. And then towards the tip of the campus on the right side, that's the new home for our hub for extended learning. So over the summer with the Board of Trustees, we have actually work through rigorous process to select the architects for the buildings, Legoretta architects for the Tri-Lab, and DLR group for the next generation living and the hub for extended learning. In terms of timeline, our goal, as I said, to break ground by June 2024. And we hopefully, that currently we're working on the programming level and the different stages of the design that will lead us into the June 2024 start. So I look forward for working with my colleagues here and the whole campus on the, soliciting their input through the series of sessions that are planned. We're of course moving in with input on through the different phases of the design. We also invite you to the upcoming events that will be scheduled and announced, 3 campus conversations along focused on the 3 projects. And then finally, I also invite you to check often the webpage of the Campus 2026, which will have the most up-to-date information and how to get to us. If you have comments or if you want to reach out to us, there will be the methods of how to connect and plenty of room for input. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khaled Tarabia. So I think we can now, and I'll repeat the last point on regarding the website, that these projects are available. The information is available on the AC website, Campus 2026. And I'll now open the floor for questions. I think maybe we can start with our audience here, and then I'll also check if there are any questions from our online audience. Yes, Professor Hanadi.
You will be responding to my question anyway. Okay, thank you. All right. My question is to Dr. Tarabia. Could you please bring, if it's possible, the map for our site here at for AUC? It's just, I just would like to understand. To my understanding, we're going along with 3 of the proposed buildings or proposals that we had. We had like 5, only 3 of them would be implemented in this phase. So where would be the remaining 2 initiatives, including the, I'm sorry? The drawing is not to scale. Okay. The buildings are much smaller. Okay, but yeah, the plan-wise, where would that be?
Okay, so it doesn't show the full plan, which we will be announcing later on. Mm-hmm. However, the new location for the School of
Urban Studies.
Yes, Design, Architecture, and Urban Studies will be towards the left side by the Watson House. That's denoted by the right around the Garden Gate parking lot. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have my laser pointer, Dr. Kennedy. Okay. And then the other one, which will be the lab school, that's on the edge, which is right now there's the nursery south of the hub for extended education and about north of our physical plant, parcel 17.
And the last one would be the housing, the student housing?
No, it's the lab school. That's the 5th project, and that's kind of the north of the parcel 17.
Okay.
Okay. So housing, we have in the plan of the ministerial decree, we have more opportunities for housing in the future. So it's not just these 2 housing opportunities, but these are the ones that are immediately, the immediate 3 key projects out of the 5.
Just one last question concerning the Tri-Lab. What is the area that is planned for this
approximately approximately 10,000 square meter in gross.
Thank you very much. Are there other questions? I'm also checking here the Q&A. So for those attending online, you can type in your question or you can raise your hand online. So I have a question concerning the if there's a backpack plan in case of another devaluation happening at any given moment during the academic year. So this is a question from an online attendee.
Absolutely. I mean, not a very detailed backup plan, but we have now experienced a wave of successive devaluations, and we've developed a toolkit to address these challenges if and when we face them. We realize that we are still in an unstable situation, and we might be in this situation for a relatively extended period of time, a year or two, or even more. So far, our priorities remain the same priorities that we've outlined previously. And again, we've developed some experience in dealing with the situation. The first priority is to address the challenge that our students and their parents will face, because they are the first constituency that will be affected by devaluation. The second priority is to address the difficulty that members of our community, especially members of our community who receive their full compensation in Egyptian pounds, the hardship that they will face because of the devaluation and the drop in the currency. And then, of course, we have to maintain a balanced budget. The prices, everything, the utility cost, all the contracts and whatever, are being renegotiated as we speak. The costs for the university are increasing, so we have to maintain that. And as I said previously, these remain our priorities, and we'll continue to work to mobilize our resources as efficiently as we can to address these three constituencies. These three constituencies, it's a zero-sum game. It's whatever we invest in one of these three buckets, we'll have to take it from the two other buckets. So there is no solution in the immediate foreseeable future that will be satisfactory for everyone. It's a difficult situation. We recognize the difficulty, and we commit to doing everything in our capacity to try to address this difficulty and to mitigate its impact on our community. So yes, we anticipate, and we're preparing multiple budget scenarios. We're working on multiple fronts, and we will continue to prioritize these three constituencies as three topics, three aspects, as I just outlined.
Thank you very much, President Dalal. I wonder if there are questions from the audience here. I have a few more questions from the audience online. So Amr Hossam asks whether there'll be room for students to express their knowledge and practical experience during the campus expansion project. I assume this is directed at our university architect.
So absolutely, we are an academic institution that has architecture and construction, engineering, and other disciplines, extends to business and marketing, humanities. So there's plenty of room for everyone. We're going to work on program of integration of the students, of course, during the course of this project to be an integral part of their co-ops and internships and their inputs, and if not, feedback on direction. There will be construction here, activity, so definitely that will be, our students are always, after that, I'm talking for the engineering students and architects and construction engineers. So yes, absolutely. Again, we'll work on putting the outline of this on the page so that we have one message for everyone, and we'll, of course, coordinate with the students and, if not, faculty and staff as well.
Thank you very much. And maybe there's another question on the same topic. And if any one of our panelists would like to address it regarding the TriLab activities, would it be engaging industry into the AUC for the sake of upscaling? That's a question from Ahmed Noor. and regarding the scope of the work, and if there'll be collaboration with industry. I don't know if any of our panelists would like.
I'll be happy to answer that. So, as you know, at EUC, we have different entities that work on innovation and entrepreneurship. Let me name a few. We have the VLab, we have the Entrepreneurship Center, we have the Process and Product Development Lab. That's when you have an idea and want to scale it up, you go to the SSE to do that. We have a Tuhi Lab. If you have an idea and you want to build a prototype, you go to a Tuhi Lab to build your prototype. And we have recently the Innovation Hub by the flags, by Gate 1. And this is to host companies on campus with a goal to work with our students. This is how we get experiential learning, real experiential learning into our classroom. All of those entities will be in the Tri-Lab, and we will encourage them and facilitate to them to cross-talk to each other. This is how we enhance our education to our students on real-world problems. So that's the whole idea of the Tri-Lab. So having industry there, absolutely. But having industry there that will not work with our students and faculty, we're not interested in that. We will invite industry to be in the new Tri-Lab on one condition, that they have to work with our faculty and our students.
Thank you very much, Provost Abdurrahman. I wonder if there are other questions from our audience here. Professor Hanedi Salam.
Hosting all those units in the Tri-Lab, do you think it's going to consume the whole area, leaving no free space for actual innovation and in terms of hands-on? I mean, space to work in over and above those spaces that already, or those units that will be moved in. When it comes to industrial collaboration, we're thinking of creating or allowing a space where the industry can do work with the students, with the faculty, where they can innovate and produce prototypes. So would there be enough space for all this, having 1,000 meters squared and hosting all those units? Thank you.
So that's 10,000 meters square, not 1,000 meters square?
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. So from the current space that we're allocating to those entities, yes, we will have enough more space for other creative ideas as well. So those entities will not occupy the whole 10,000 space. By the way, one of the problems that construction engineering and architecture engineering have been facing on our campus, that their prototypes are building. So they want to build the building, demolish it, build another one in a couple of years, try something new, then demolish it, and so on. We're not facilitating that to them the right way. That place will have a space for that too, for those two departments and other departments. So absolutely, I think we will have a space for them. I'm not sure about further space in the future, maybe. I think we still have land.
So another question from the audience.
If I may, hello everyone. Thanks for the intro and bringing this preview of the year. Walid Al-Akhbari from the University Residences. I am questioning how are we attempting to connect these new facilities to the existing facilities? Is there a plan in mind? And the second question is regarding the dining facilities on campus. Part of the well-being of the student is to have affordable and healthy food. Are we also thinking about that in those projects? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We're actually, that's a great one because we already started connecting. You mean if we're connecting, or not on the physical sense, I mean in terms of on the programming sense, we already are CLT, Dr. Huda Mustafa, and is leading a session, a number of sessions, focus groups, actually started last week and extending to next week with the students, resident advisors, and yes. So on the physical end of this, we definitely were gonna utilize what we say as architectural tricks, landscaping tricks, to make sure that we have a good physical shaded connection between both, and not just on the hardscape, but also on the programming of the building itself. So programs, the next generation living will be a state-of-the-art dorm that will attract students towards it as a magnet, not just for spending the night or for working, but actually for learning. Maybe there will be some sustainable activities around. Maybe there will be some cultural or cultural activities that's taking place, or maybe actually it could be used sometimes as learning and similar to our dual delivery kind of learning spaces. So we are thinking about this. This is, of course, a language of the future, and it will not be like the typical kind of dorm where actually it's more of housing rather than dorms. That was the first question we asked during the questionnaires, the first focus group that took place last week, and I believe there are members of the graduate residents are in the crowd. It's an issue that is definitely has to be taken into consideration given the need that we are facing and the challenges that we're facing with the existing dorms, but we will not wait until to resolve this for the future. We are actually working with the Vice President for Management and Operation on solutions to actually resolve and mitigate this issue for the existing dorms these days. So you should see some solutions coming in on the issue of dining in the residences soon.
Thank you very much. I think there's another question from the audience here.
Okay, my name is Mafaru. I work at the Advancement Office. I recently joined. My question is to Mr. President. We would like to hear more about your trip to Saudi Arabia and the opportunities that you see for collaboration with AUC, and how does this compare to further partnerships with Dubai as well?
One of the things that we've tried to do is to re-establish connections to our donors and friends and alumni in the Gulf in general, former donors, especially in light of the fact that many priorities for donors, whether it's foundations or individuals, many priorities have changed. This type of support that they've used to provide is different from the type of support that they're currently providing. So part of engaging these communities was, as part of engaging, we went to Dubai, we went to Saudi Arabia. In Dubai, the context of the current the collaboration that started and further collaborations in the future, the context is different. We met with our alumni, a very successful cohort of alumni working in Dubai. We re-established relationships with them. We re-established relationships as well with alumni from the UAE. And we reached out to our friends and trustees and former donors and so on. But the context of the current collaboration, we were actually approached to discuss possibilities for collaboration after our initial visits. And in response to that inquiry, to that approach by the authorities, by the top authorities of Dubai, in response to that, we formed, if you remember last year, we formed a number of ad hoc forums. We established a number of ad hoc forums to get feedback from our community on possible collaborations. And we studied the strategic plan for higher education in the UAE and in Dubai. And in response to that, we articulated a number of possibilities where we have areas of strength, and we've identified needs as articulated in their strategic plan. And we went back and we proposed these initiatives. There is a tremendous interest and excitement about collaborating with AUC, which is quite it's very important. The first thing that this indicates is the recognition of the importance of this institution at a regional level, not just in Egypt, but beyond Egypt. And again, we're very cautious about approaching because we don't want to commit to a permanent physical presence that then becomes a burden and whatever. And our approach, which as we suggested to our counterparts and colleagues in Dubai, our approach is to offer programs. The first program that we're offering is a professional education program. It's the sort of thing that we do anyway, but we're doing it on a larger scale and a much more impactful way, and also in partnership with public and private sector in Dubai. We offered also a number of other potential areas that we still need to discuss. And the initial response is a lot of excitement. So there are 5 different areas that we've identified so far that we might be working. We put before them. We will be discussing them as we move forward, and we will only move forward cautiously. We did a similar thing in Saudi Arabia. We went, initial visit, VP Richard and I. On an initial visit, we went to Riyadh and Jeddah. We met with former colleagues, donors. We met with alumni. Again, a very, very committed and loyal cohort of alumni in Saudi Arabia, both Egyptian and Saudi. And there were lots of opportunities. The context of this last visit, I was invited along with several members of our community to speak at a conference at Prince Sultan University in Riyadh. It's a relatively young university, 24 years old, one of the more innovative universities. The conference was on digital institutions. And again, I deliberately agreed to speak, to engage the community. Now, in the context of that visit as well, we met with a number of alumni, we met with a number of former trustees and donors and supporters. We also we signed an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding with Prince Sultan, different from the university, Sultan of the university. It's another Prince Sultan. Prince Sultan bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, who you might recall is the first astronaut, Arab astronaut, a couple of decades ago. But he's also the champion of cultural preservation in Saudi Arabia, which wasn't an area which is completely popular. Today it is. And he and the team, we had a great meeting with him. We signed a memorandum of understanding to collaborate. I mean, between the library and the institute, it's called Turath Institute, to collaborate on cultural preservation. That's a major, major opening in, at a very high scale, high level, an opening in our relationships with Saudi Arabia. In our other meetings, the chair of the board of trustees of Prince Sultan University, against a different sultan, the chair of the board of trustees asked to meet with me. He himself received his PhD in urban planning from the University of Pennsylvania, extremely cultured. He used to be the mayor of Riyadh. He put together many of the strategic plan for the development of the city. He's not overseeing it right now, but he's on all of the major boards of trustees and so on, and expressed keen interest in collaborating in the university, with AUC. Again, student exchange. Right now, we don't have students from Saudi Arabia. Right now, we don't have students from UAE. And we really want to, to restore the presence of exchange students, but also collaboration on multiple levels. Again, a recognition of the strength, of the impact of this institution, and a desire to collaborate with it. So there were other opportunities that also transpired. We called very, last minute call for it. We didn't plan in advance for it, for an alumni reception. More than 50 alumni showed up for the reception. Again, very accomplished, achieved, very highly placed, tremendous loyalty to AUC and a desire to engage with the institution. So again, we opened multiple doors. We need to work on all of these. Nothing happens, It took us quite a bit of work to agree on the first program that we'll delivering, but believe me, it's a very impactful program. And we need to deliver quality. People trust the quality that we're capable of delivering, and that's what we need to do. We have the basis to build on. There are all doors that we opened. it's a chance for us to reestablish relationships, to build partnerships, and to project the true intellectual weight of our institution at a regional level.
Thank you very much. We have a couple more questions from the online audience. One of them says, as a student, I have noticed a drop in quality of education, particularly in some courses. Is there a plan to evaluate each course and professor? Also, is there a way for students to share their opinions and concerns regarding that? So I think maybe, yes.
So evaluation of courses and professors is already there, has been there for so many years at AUC, even before I joined AUC, and AUC has been known of that. And I'm sure the deans and chairs read those reviews carefully. So please provide your review on the course and on the professor, on the student evaluation system at the right time, and I'm sure that the chair and the dean will look into it. And if you would like to email me, please email me, and I will also look on to that matter with the dean of that particular, of the school that offering that particular course.
Thank you very much. And another question concerning the single-use plastic, perhaps for President Dalal. With regards to the single-use plastic, how can we make sure that this would be sustainable, given that the most used single-use plastic is water bottles and the water dispensers on campus are either malfunctioning or they need new filters?
Yes, I don't know what's going on with mics today. The question is difficult, that's why. So that's a loaded question, but we will do our best. Absolutely, we have to take a step. Not saying that we're going to do a giant step, but we're going to start with a baby one of identifying at least our consumptions. There are types of plastics and types of that we can't really coexist without. Plastic still important for many aspects of life. We're not saying that we're going to phase out of plastic forever. But what we're going to do is how to work on this in a smart way. How can we take the first step? And of course, our Office of Sustainability on campus is leading that initiative along with many, many other entities on campus, procurement and the like. So I hope I answered you, but it's basically, it's not easy to really attack single-use plastic, but many institutions did worldwide, and we have our own, of course, boundaries and constraints that we follow as well, so it's applicable to our culture and to our, how do we actually take in our daily life. Not just looking at phasing of plastic as per se, but maybe looking closely into what we do with our waste, with our plastic waste as well, to an output that actually becomes more actually functional, and it justifies why we're making actually phasing out or why we're minimizing. To work with plastic into other forms, so instead of putting it into waste, no, diverting it only to other means that actually could be helpful back, to circle back, and to put this circularity approach back to AUC to use it for other products. So I hope I answered, but I can go like forever. I teach this stuff, so that's why. Tell me when to stop and I will stop.
Thank you very much. Perhaps, is there any other question? Okay, maybe just one more question because we only have a few more minutes.
Okay, so it's lovely seeing you all today. This is Alia, and I was just wondering if there are any updates regarding PhD programs here on campus to open soon, hopefully. Education-related, psychology-related, or other fields besides public health and engineering?
Could you repeat?
PhD programs.
PhD programs, yes.
Yes. Any news about PhD programs in progress or perhaps being available soon regarding education and psychology in particular or relevant fields?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there's an echo in the room. I cannot hear the question correctly, but if you're asking about an academic psychology program, this is what you're asking about?
PhD.
PhD, okay. PhD in general, I'll answer that in general. The School of Engineering and Sciences and Engineering are the two PhD programs at EUC. We're open to other schools to present to us proposals. We'll look into it and we'll study it. And if it's ready, of course, we understand the importance of having a PhD program at EUC. I'm aware that the School of Business is working on establishing one. I did not see it yet. But as a provost and academic leaders, I'm sure the academic leaders in the university will look into any serious proposal and will consider it.
Thank you very much. Just one more final point regarding the question of the plastic. So this attendee is saying has a concern regarding the fact that the water dispensers are not working properly. So I think it's just alerting to this issue, the water dispensers on campus.
Thank you. So water dispensers is a wonderful concept in any college campus everywhere to allow us to actually force us to use our washable water containers, which what we actually want to deploy and get used to. So from now on, we want to actually divert from just using the plastic bottles, except for special events, into more of using the water dispensers to fill in. So we're studying the mechanics of these things and how can we actually transition, even while gradually, but it's important. Yes, it requires some maintenance. It's front-loaded with maintenance because it's heavily used. So, and it also has a cooling component to it as well that requires, will keep our maintenance group active in fixing. So yes, sustainability doesn't come without pain. It comes with some compromise. We have to be a bit uncomfortable to live and to change. So that doesn't just get into plastic, but it comes over as well into air conditioning and many other aspects of our life that we took for granted, that we have to actually also take some hard steps to go forward with a much better agenda.
Thank you very much. So I would like to thank our panelists and our audience here, our online audience. Thank you very much. And please keep an eye also for the upcoming campus conversations that will take place in November. And I'd like to invite the audience here now for coffee and donuts. Thank you very much.